In this presentation, we will talk about the process of hiring an employee in Sweden. If you are going to hire an employee, you have to follow some steps as per local legislation, which is required to register the employees. The Swedish tax agency Skatteverket. This registration is crucial for several reasons, including ensuring that the employee is properly taxed and that the necessary social contributions are made. So notification, you need to send notification to Swedish tax agency, Skatteverket, social security contribution, arbetsgivaravgifter, and pension registration. So when you terminate your employer, you have to follow some procedures. One of them, those are the primary notification required when an employer in Sweden terminates an employee. However, the exact obligation can vary depending on the circumstances, such as whether the employee is a union member, the reason for termination, and the number of employees affected. So you have to notify the tax agencies, Skatteverket. This is a part of standard reporting. Notify the union if the employee is unionized, particularly in cases of contested termination. Notify the Public Employment Service Arbetsförmedlingen, required in large-scale layoffs. This is very important organization. Consider Social Insurance Agency, Försäkringskassan, relevant if the employee is on sick leave or receiving other benefits. This notification ensures compliance with Swedish labor laws and protect the rights of both the employer and the employee. So when you have any vacant position in your organization, it is very important in Sweden to give equal opportunity to all candidates. So it is important register your open position vacancy in Arbetsförmedlingen website. Here we will talk why, how to do it. To hire an employee, several legal and procedural steps must be followed to ensure compliance with local legislation and best practices. So when you announce a vacant place, and before posting a job and hire someone, you have to clearly define their role, responsibility, qualification, and terms of employment, and post the job openings through appropriate channels, ensuring compliance with equal opportunity laws. And you can use Arbetsförmedlingen website. As I told, this is very important part of your business. So this site is free of charge for employers and making it cost-effective method for advertising job opening. How to use it? You just create an account. Employers need to create an account on the Arbetsförmedlingen website to post job advertisement. You will be using your company number, other information. So after setting up an account, employer can create and manage job postings, ensuring that they provide clear and non-discrimination job description. So some employers dare to post on open positions the race, age, nationality, or religion preferences. This is totally restricted in Sweden. You haven't to do it. So utilize additional services. Employers can take advantage of other services such as matching services where the agency helps identify suitable candidates. Also, you can use your company website or your career page. You can use job board and online platforms, generally like LinkedIn, Indeed, Glassdoor, and Monster. Also, you can use industry-specific platforms, tech jobs, healthcare. So, for example, it depends on the position. You can use websites that cater to job seekers in a specific region or country. Also, you can use social media, newspaper, print media, local newspaper for local hiring and targeting specific demographics, and trade journals, industry-specific publications that reach professionals in a particular field. Application and selection process. Application review. When you posted your job, you announce about your vacant positions. You will get a lot of resumes related to this position and not related. So you screen resumes and application for qualification and experience. You have to conduct interview possibly in multiple stage, initial screening, technical interview, final interview. Also, you have right to perform necessary background checks, including criminal record, education verification, and reference checks if applicable and legal in jurisdiction. So you are sending employment offer, provide a formal employment offer, including position, start date, salary, benefits, and conditions of employment. The candidate review and accept the offer. Actually, that this presentation is not talking about recruitment process. We are talking about hiring process in Sweden and which processes you have to follow. Employment agreement. Here I want to show you employment agreement example, which information you have to indicate in your employment agreements. In your draft, there should be job title and duties, salary and benefits, working hours, probationary period, termination conditions, confidentiality and non-compete clauses, compliance with local labor laws, minimum wage, working hours, leave entitlements. So here you see, for example, employer, ABC Corporation employee, a position software developer, type of employment permanent. This is just example of employment agreement, salary information, working hours, vacation, notice period, collective agreement covered by the IT industry, collective agreements, for example. For more detailed templates to discuss, it's advisable to consult with the legal experts or refer to resources. Always ensure that your employment agreement complies with Swedish labor laws and includes all necessary legal and practical details because it is very important. Maybe your organization has agreement with union or any other special organizations. And it is mandatory to indicate it in your employment agreement. So also I want to show you the example of the employment agreement. You can see parties, position, duties, start day, working hours, salary and benefits. You can see probation period, terms, holidays, notice period, confidentiality, governing laws, signature. So, what is collective agreements? If the company is bound by a collective agreement, there might be additional registration with the relevant union or employers association. Swedish Social Insurance Agency Försäkringskassan, while not a registration per se, employers must ensure that employees are covered uh, by the social insurance system, which provides benefits such as parental leave and sick leave. The employer typically handles any necessary communication with Försäkringskassan regarding an employee eligibility for benefits. Failure to register employees correctly can lead to legal penalties and difficulties for both the employer and the employee. So it's important to follow this procedure carefully. So union consideration, union membership if the workplace is unionized, inform the employee of their rights and responsibilities regarding union membership. Collective bargaining agreements we talked about in our first presentation ensures that the employment terms comply with the SBI if applicable. This agreement often covers wage, working conditions, and dispute resolution mechanisms. So in our first presentation, we talked with collective bargaining agreement. It is a written legal contract between an employer and union representing the employees. The SPA is the result of negotiation process between the employer and the union, known as collective bargaining, which covers the terms and conditions of employment. This typically includes provisions on wage, working hours, health and safety benefits, dispute resolutions procedure terms. Key aspects of SBA negotiation and signing, finding applicable. SBA application and enforcement. So when you're followed all procedures, you registered your employer accordingly, signed agreement. What you have to do, organize onboarding and induction. What is this? When introduce a new employer to the company culture, policies, and procedures. Provide necessary training for the employee to perform their duties. Complete all necessary documentation, including tax forms, social security registration, and health insurance enrollment. Compliance with the labor laws, employment laws. Ensure all aspects of the hiring process comply with relevant employment laws such as anti-discrimination laws, data protection regulation, and occupational health and safety requirements. For foreign employees, ensure proper work permits and visas are obtained. So educate the employee on their right under local labor laws, such as the right to a safe workplace, fair pay, and the right to join a union. Inform the employee of their responsibilities, including adherence to company policies and ethical standards. Post-hire follow-up, performance review. Implement a system for regular performance reviews and feedback because it is mandatory for legislation. If employee on probationary period, especially it is your responsibility. Follow up employees' performance, give feedback, and give a chance to employer to understand what you like and don't like, where they need to develop themselves. So probation period assessment. If a probation period is specified, assess the employee's performance and decide on permanent employment. So maintain detailed records of all employment-related documents, including the employment agreement, performance review, and disciplinary actions. The specific laws and regulations that govern the hiring process vary by jurisdiction. Here are some key areas of law to consider. Labor Standard Act. This includes minimum wage, overtime pay, and working conditions. Actually, in Sweden, there is uh, doesn't exist any legal minimum wage information. Discrimination and equal opportunity legislation ensure fair hiring practices. Data protection laws governs the handling of personal information. Health and safety regulation ensure a safe working environment. For example, as we talked before in our previous presentation, for example, in European Union, various directives such as Working Time Directive and the General Data Protection Regulation (GDPR) may apply. This is a general guideline. As I mentioned in my previously, it is essential to consult local labor laws and possibly legal counsel to ensure full compliance with all relevant laws and regulation in your specific jurisdiction.